Alright guys, back from on FireRed. This is not gonna be able to Discord, so if I say something that doesn't make sense, there you go.
Any variant you could think of.
Yeah. I don't remember, but it's just what the fuck. That's just life, I guess. I bet he would say some shit like that too if he didn't have any kind of filters up. He barely has them, but he does have them. Yeah. I can believe that. I'm honestly also trying to find a
Nidoran female, by the way.
But yeah. Welcome, Ian. We almost, I almost have a Vidro. Well, you fucked them over. I remember when you did that to get a fucking PS5. He did.
She's making fun of Nick.
Alright, finally got the bee drill. So I can switch it out, probably for the Jigglypuff, honestly. What game? Oh, yeah, like 100 hours worth of fucking actual gameplay from what I understand. That is what the devs said like 2 years ago when they released it, so... Or was it last year? Either way. It's... I honestly really liked Remake, and then I played the first few hours of Rebirth so far. I need to get back to it. Yeah. Yeah. I felt for the most part Remake was as well, though some parts could definitely, like, slow it down for no reason. Most of the padding in Remake was mainly a bunch of the side stuff that they added, but otherwise, it was fine. Yeah, they added a bunch of the stuff from the compilation stuff early, I know, and, like, expanded upon a bunch of things. It's also why they did the remaster of Crisis Core, so that people would be familiar with that story going forward. Yeah, that's why they made it. That's why they made that prequel, to expand upon a bunch of these characters. They did that, then they did, was it Dirge of Cerberus, and then fucking, Advent Children. They didn't remake it, I'm just saying they made it, in general. They might remake Dirge of Cerberus at some point, I would not be surprised. Yeah. And, like, one of the things that people thought was holding back Crisis Core from getting, like, remade or remastered was, one of the villains, his likeness and his voice was provided by a singer in Japan that might have been locked behind, yeah, him, Genesis, and yeah, that might have held them up in terms of rights issues, but I guess they like sorted through whatever rights issues were maybe stopping it. In my opinion, it's probably just more they didn't put it into full production until after Remake was successful. People overthink that shit too much. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's like, that is definitely why they put Tetsuya Nomura in charge of directing shits.
Actually, like, Rebirth is like underrated.
He might have been a co-director with someone else.
Directors Tetsuya Nomura, Naoki Hamaguchi, Motomu Toriyama.
Okay, so it's 3 directors. Honestly, probably just switch to regular movies.
Yeah, just Naoki Hamaguchi was mainly a programmer for some of the other Final Fantasy games, starting with 12. Oh, he was also a co-director on Oh, this is the guy who directed 10 and 10 too, right? I think the 13 trilogy.
Which actually makes sense, because I remember watching a video where someone pointed out that 7 wasn't a... Technically, in terms of like its gameplay and shit, 7 wasn't a sequel to like a programming sequel to 15. It's more a sequel to 13, the 13 trilogy, because it has a lot in common with it. Like, in terms of like how they evolve the gameplay systems is what I mean. Not necessarily narrative, because they're all within their own universes. The other way around. They built off of what they did with the 13 series. Because, the 13 series, with 13 and 13-2, they wanted to try and meld as best they could, what do you call it, real-time action gameplay of an action RPG with the traditional RPG of older Final Fantasies. Well, it also had the real-time components, because, like, you had to wait for, like, the gauge to charge before you could do shit, and then, your enemies could attack before you if you weren't quick enough. What? Yes. Yes. But if you... And then, like, Lightning Returns was, like, fully an action RPG, so... It makes a lot of sense when you actually look at the games as they were developed. Because, I think that's also why they put Tetsuya Nomura in charge of it, because, Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth also have a lot in common with Kingdom Hearts, so that just makes a lot of sense. And Remake also gave me better fucking gameplay shit than Kingdom Hearts 3 did. Kingdom Hearts 3 was way too easy, even though I liked a lot of the gameplay systems in it. What was the last thing you said, Ian? Because I heard, like, part of it. So. Yeah. Yeah, he's been working for the... Yeah, I think, yeah, because he's been he started out as a creature designer for them and a character designer on Final Fantasy VII, I believe, back in the 90s, so... Comes full circle when he's one of the gameplay directors. Out of the ones I've played, probably 7 Remake. I need to finish Rebirth before I consider that one. Granted, I've only played 13, a bit of 13-2, a bit of what the fuck was it? Yes. Stranger of Paradise. I played a bit of that one. I haven't finished it. Played 15, a bit of 16. And yeah, 7 Remake is definitely also most of Crisis Core, and like 7 Remake is definitely the one I've liked the most out of them. Play more of those games. Oh yeah, I played also a bit of 13-2. 13... Yeah, 13 honestly sucked. 13-2, and at least in terms of gameplay, is a lot better. Nah. Yeah. I actually liked most of the characters. Hope? I didn't hate him. I just also don't care for him. Like, I don't give a shit about him. Snow, he's an idiot, but he's okay. Like, yeah, he's literally just a fucking himbo. The only one I didn't really care for out of all of them was, like, Lightning, and that's only because I felt like she was inconsistently written in parts. And that, I've heard, is because they actually did have to rewrite parts of the game as they were making it. So, they did not have a finished script, and the English dub as a result, was based on, like, I think parts of it at the very least were based on earlier scripts that they were getting, from the Japanese side. So you have an inconsistent English dub, too, that I think could have used another pass. And I will say, though, at least in English, Lightning's voice actress doesn't fall victim to what a lot of, especially female actresses, but, female actors, but, sometimes male ones as well, where, like, their main thing is they have to act stoic because that's their character, that's the character that they're playing. But a lot of them, unfortunately, get stuck in the trap of sounding bored, or just not putting any emotion at all into what they're saying. Her voice actors actually understood the assignment of how to play the character, so. Yeah, she was definitely good. If they were to like, if they were to do remasters of those games, I think at the very least for the first game, they should redo the English dub with the original voice actors. They've done that on other projects, so to just at least have a better, like, a better translated dub based on the final Japanese script. I think that would really help the game. Of course. I don't think that they would have made that DLC without it becoming relevant at some point. Her early introduction. I really liked her DLC. It was really well done. It was I think it was like, wasn't it like 5 hours long, 5 to 10 hours long, and then it was really well paced. It was like fast paced, but it had a good flow to it. Yeah, I actually ended up liking that one. And like, I think I got the trophy for it as well, with defeating everyone, I think it was, in that game. Doing whatever the fuck you had to do with it. Oh yeah, something that... The story with Yuffie's DLC, it's just an early introduction for her, set during... I think the part where... Okay. It's basically a mid-quill that takes place during the part of the game where Cloud and Aerith are separated from Tifa and Barret, and, but from Yuffie's point of view, and, yeah, it's basically early introducing her into the story before she would become relevant. And another guy as well who ends up being her companion during the story. It's funny, I can't remember like what the main story is from that DLC. I just remember enjoying it. Mainly because I've only played it once. I think is why I don't remember it too well. I played Remake, the base game, like 3 times, but that DLC I've only played once. And it was like 2 or 3 years ago. Oh, I wanted to know about the story of that DLC. I think it was... her parents... some shit with the... what is the name? Corporation. Lightning? Yeah. The others? the audience. I believe that it is more like that. The game basically drops you in the middle of whatever the fuck's going on with the characters, and they go along, and it takes a bit before you get any context as to certain things that are going on, and Lightning specifically, she has a connection. Yeah, mainly how I think that she was inconsistently written. It does come down to how they were doing things on the Japanese side of the game development versus before the dub was even done. Like I said, they were, as far as I know from what I've heard about the game's development, they were rewriting certain parts of the game on the fly, or as they were going, because they couldn't they would make some decisions and then change them later on. And I think, yeah, and part of that was also reflected in Lightning's character, which is why I brought up the dub, because the dub, parts of it are based on old scripts, parts of it are based on new scripts, and it's a bit of an inconsistent dub in regards to at least Lightning's characterization and everything. And then, in regards to in medias res, yeah, a lot of the game, it drops you in, and then it waits, it takes its sweet-ass time actually, as far as I can remember, actually showing, flashbacks for certain things, Lightning's sister Sarah, and what happened to her, and her connection to Snow, and all these different things, because, I don't know, I think if they had done stuff like that earlier on, and clued people into certain things, it would have been better. Because, yeah, I specifically remember when part of the game where they're all, I think it's after they're branded criminals by the state. They slow down. They're in a either an apartment or a hotel or some shit. And they're all discussing stuff with Lightning's sister, and I think that's where you get a lot of the that's where you get a lot of the context with Lightning and her connection to Snow and Sarah and all that stuff, and why Lightning is the way that she is in terms of her actions and everything, and why she doesn't like Snow. Right, because didn't he let his mom die, and then, or not let her die, but oh yeah. I gotta tell you, one of the things that is definitely, holding me up from actually replaying Final Fantasy 13 is the fact that there's no, New Game Plus system. I think if they had that in the game, I would definitely not mind replaying it. It's just that it doesn't, so. So I do not want to have to, start a new save file and, re-unlock and re-earn all the fucking, Christogen points. Pulse. There we go. Pulse and Cocoon. Yeah. It's like, well, I don't. I don't usually play Pokemon games in Nuzlots. I don't usually play Pokemon games in Nuzlots. I just like to take my time and just go through them. You're right. I don't. No. No, don't be Nick now. That's true. What a fucking rhyme. This is crack. That fucking meme. Yes, that is exactly what I said. All of it. What is going on? No. It's like, why shut up? Who says the musician? Sure I did. Yes, yes I do. Because it's fun. He evolves at level 28. Finally have me a Charmeleon. Some Hopench. You're gonna manifest something. You're gonna manifest something. Because you are. You keep saying that you're shit, so... You just said you will always watch, and we don't know what you were referring to. Cuckoldry. I think you're calling yourself one. Joven. Super Nerd Jelkum.
That would be hilarious.
Alright guys, I'm going to pause here and continue in the next one.